Hello everyone. This is a rather small rant about Naval and its many problems, and what I hope will change. This will likely fall on deaf ears, but might as well make a wish list of changes for the next year, right? One problem I have with Naval is a minor one, but this is applicable to all game modes, and that is the crew. The crew experience needed is sort of absurd for free-to-play players. Like 25,000 RP just to get the ship into a decent shape to actually play the game, whereas a tank with the bare minimum, such as reloading, turret traverse speed, and leadership, is like a third of that. Furthermore, the crew experience generated by Naval is kind of poor compared to tanks or planes. So in order to solve this and like actually give a reason for players to play Naval would be like a sort of external crew skill multiplier similar to like arcade. Perhaps 1.5, maybe more of the standard gain. This can actually incentivize players to play Naval to actually get crew experience to slap onto their other vehicles, like their tanks. The second problem would be the compression. Oh boy. If you thought ground compression was bad, you have not seen anything yet. The fact is that cruisers such as the Admiral Hipper, the Chapief, and the Belfast, or the 6.0 bracket in general, right, can see dreadnoughts that they physically cannot kill. Just should not exist. An example of ground compression is like the T-26E5 or the Jumbo Pershing versus the IS-6. Sure, it is like a tough fight, but you can at least win it if you play correctly. Naval, however, you physically cannot win. Like, if you are up tiered in a Hipper to fight, let's say the Marat, which is a 6.7 dreadnought, you physically cannot kill it. Like, unless you were to torpedo it, which means getting close, or hitting a very lucky ammo rack, which is very difficult for these cruisers to do. Another example of compression is the SMS The Flinger fighting literal World War II battleships, which it physically cannot kill. Again, it physically cannot kill the World War II battleships. Another example, I just want to point this out. It's almost all German. Like the German 7.0 to 7.3 range is quite literally one of the worst experiences anyone can subject themselves to in this game. Your guns simply do not have the bite to actually do anything against enemies at range. Furthering this point is that you can't even get close to kill them because even with a maxed out crew, a level 100 crew expert, you just fucking explode. If anyone starts a fire in your ammo elevators, just because they are very short compared to, let's say, British ammo elevators or Italian ammo elevators, you will explode in 5 seconds flat. Doesn't matter if you have fire extinguishing maxed out, you will explode because it just spreads so quickly down into the magazine that you can't even extinguish it or even activate the extinguishing damage control party enough. This is tying back to the point that I'm trying to make, and it's that all nations should have at least one ship to be able to kill other ships at its tier. Like, a perfect example of this would be, again, Germany. Fucking hell. With the Graf Spee at 6.0. You trade literally everything for 6 11-inch guns, which can, in fact, pen majority of the thing it faces in a full up tier. Or like semi-full up tier, 6.7, around there. This should be the format for like every rank, because if you expect players to just not be able to do anything, no one is going to play that tech tree. Everyone is just going to play the tech tree where they can actually do stuff. For example, Japan, America, and Russia. How rare. You barely see anyone playing Germany, you barely see anyone playing Britain, and you very rarely see anyone playing Italy or France. That is because they can't do shit with their guns. A perfect example of this would be Russia and America at 7.3. For Russia 7.3, you have the armored battleship in the form of the Novorissiki. I cannot pronounce it, but it is essentially a Conti di cover class from the Italians. The guns, they do very little damage due to its low filler, thus making it not particularly good at doing massive damage. The Kronstadt, and the Sevastopol, on the other hand, has amazing guns, very high explosive filler, making them insanely potent against ships, like battleships and battle cruisers, in exchange for armor that can be penned pretty frequently by the ships at the same tier. Same thing with America at 7.3 with the Alaska, which has decent guns but little filler, and then Nevada or Arizona, your pick, with heavy hitting guns. Just give all the nations at least one ship. One ship is all I ask for that can actually penetrate the majority of targets at range. And this is going to tie into my next point. The third point is the maps. Why oh why is every map a bloody circle? This is absolutely atrocious for ships that excel in brawling, because you're just asking for a death wish. If you try to go into the center to brawl in, for example, the Shan Horse, you just get blasted back to Kingdom Come. It doesn't matter how good your armor is. Doesn't matter if you have a total bag. If your turrets implode every 5 seconds and you just explode, you cannot keep up with the repair and exploding your turrets. Like, it physically cannot be that hard to implement maps similar to, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like World of Warships. Like, seriously, I've played World of Warships mobile and I've had a great time on brawlers there, because you know there's cover so you can like get close and make your guns and armor actually effective. Like, for God's sake, there's already a couple maps you can make into a World of Warships style map. Those being Coral Sea and Ireland Bay. It's literally in the game right now. I am not sure why Ireland Bay is only at 3.7 to 5.0 ships. It could be perfect if you tweak a little few things here and there. It could be perfect for like capital ships. Just give ships cover, so ships like brawlers, like the Shot Horse, or cruisers if you're up tiering them, which is basically just America, because they only have cruisers at 6.3, can actually, play to their strengths. Fourth would be the clankers or AI bots. Why are we in the big 25, almost 26, and we still have AI bots taking out kills? I know that doing quote unquote hits is the most rewarding part of Naval, economically speaking, but the last hit, is still a decent chunk of SL and RP. So why should a dirty clanker take it? Just give it to the player who dealt the most damage. Like, I should not be losing out on SL and RP just because a dirty clanker shot the ship with its guns, which most of the time is just a HE shell or a secondary. Like, what logic is there that correlates them doing a minimal damage to the ship I am fighting and rewarding them the kill? They don't even get anything. So what is the logic here? And the last point I want to make, this is just exclusive to Germany, but I'm sure it will eventually come into other nations, but why the hell am I forced to grind not one, but two ships of the same fucking class just to unlock the next rank? Like, who at Gaijin thinks that the Bayern class is so bloody good that the exact same ship with a grand total of six extra 88mm AA guns is worth an entire Tech 3 slot and an additional 40,000 research points on top of the original research point cost for the Bayern class, making it 300,000 RP just for the same ship, but with 6 extra puny AA guns. Like, no other country currently has this kind of treatment. The only countries that has something similar is Britain and Japan, and that is a stretch because they actually have, substantial differences between them. The Issei class, Hyuga and Issei, are the same ship class, but significantly different because one is in its 1920 configuration and one is in its 1941 configuration. That includes slightly different armor and guns. Like, okay, yeah, this is fine because they have different stuff, which it makes it, unique. Why am I expected to grind the same ship for 6 AA guns? And for Britain, it's even less so of a stretch. They have two unique ships, the HMS Centurion and HMS Orion, I'm going to call it Onion, with the same armament and armor, but different stats. One is faster with less crew, and one is slower with more crew. This should be the standard for adding vehicles. Actual differences that matter, not just slapping on 6 fucking AA guns and calling it new and charging me 300,000 RP for it. Alright. That's my rant. That's my rant over. I'm just tired of Gaijin and their horrible fucking decisions. If you want to debate in the comments, feel free to do so. I don't mind. I will respond to most of them. Also spam E. That helps with the algorithm as well. So yeah. Have a splendid day. Go eat something. I know I will. And good day.